After the demonetization announced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in India, one could see long lines outside banks, ATMs, and there has been a slowdown in economic activity. Now, all this definitely could bring down the GDP of the country by a notch, about 100 basis points for this quarter, October to December of 2016. Now, the government has obviously got a windfall profit, a net extinguishment of liabilities on the of the Reserve Bank of India to the tune of a lakh of crores plus. And now it's the responsibility of the government to try and spur the economy, try to invigorate it by some new stimulus measures. The new RBI Governor Ujit Patel, scheduled to announce his second monetary policy tomorrow, I believe is going to give a good boost to banks to reduce their lending rates, and this he hopes that will encourage borrowers to come and borrow at lower rates of interest. But there is the demand side which is definitely in trouble, and that is what the government needs to factor in. Merely reducing the interest rates will itself not help, but definitely on the anvil are further plans for the government to bring back the purchasing power in the hands of the people and try to invigorate the economy. Now that they can do by putting a sum of money, as is being rumored, in the Jan Dhan accounts, and they could add something like 10-15,000 in Indian rupees, and there could be other measures. They can try and go for infrastructure spending at a very rapid pace. I definitely believe that with so many elections in states, they definitely will have some objective of stimulating consumer spending, because that once the consumer spending goes up, then naturally the other capital spending will also follow. So therefore one can expect good stimulus measures from the government very shortly. Reserve Bank of India's monetary policy meeting tomorrow will only be the first step in that direction. So one can slowly see that the stimulus will start bringing back the demand and will start bringing the country back on the path of growth. So one has to watch carefully, but this is definitely up the sleeve of the government. Now, as far as oil prices go, there has been an OPEC meeting and an agreement. I do not think that the rise in oil prices subsequent to the announcement of the OPEC agreement is going to last very long. In fact, I believe that you may see $1 or so more, and then I think oil prices will also start falling quite sharply thereafter for the remainder of this year and December 2016. So do not get carried away that inflation is coming back and that the bond yields in the US and elsewhere could go up, because inflation will start heading higher northwards. I do not think that's going to happen. This is probably the OPEC agreement, whereas good on paper, may not happen in reality, and definitely there will be a downward pressure on oil prices thereafter. I mean after December 15. So this is probably the last week where you can see a little surge, nominal surge, and then oil prices are heading downwards once again. Regarding gold, silver, well, they have been on a downward spiral. The demonetization in India, one of the largest consumers of gold and silver, definitely has had an impact, and I believe personally that this is definitely going to continue to exert downward pressure on gold and silver prices. As regards stock markets are concerned, definitely you may see a couple of months of the Trump saga playing out, more spending, infrastructure spending that he has promised, a reduction in tax rates, although that is not quite clear exactly where he's cutting and what will a net impact on the US economy. and countries like India are also heading in the direction of reducing interest rates. So one has to wait and watch the net impact. You could see some rebound in many stock markets which have been battered, like India. Now it's demonetization is then once in a lifetime event, and these could regain some ground. But I believe in the larger picture, things like the Italian referendum, German elections, Hong Kong elections are all around the corner, and they will also begin to have an impact on global politics, on the global economy, and indirectly, therefore, they will also impact stock markets. So, keep in mind that there will be some new trigger factors and some new negative factors coming up for 2017, which we shall discuss. For now, I believe that Indian stock markets and stock markets of other countries which have been like emerging economies which have been beaten out of shape, they could rebound a little bit and therefore take advantage of that. Happy investing. Take care. Bye bye.